Hi, everybody. Welcome to Inside AWAI, Real Copywriters, Real Strategies, Real Success. I'm Katie Yeakle, AWAI's Executive Director, and I'm thrilled to introduce you to Shelby Dennis. Hi, Shelby.
Hello, good morning. Nice to see you.
Oh, it's great to see you too. And I love your story, and I can't wait to share it with everybody. But I do want to start with what you're doing right now, because I love the note that you sent me. You said, I found my dream client. And well, actually, you said your dream client found you. So tell us how that happened, who your dream client is, and how they found you. And everybody's going to understand why this is such a perfect match for you.
Yes, absolutely. So a little bit real quick of background of what I'm doing right now. I primarily write SEO content on a day-to-day basis. So what that means is like homepages for websites, blogs, about and service pages, things that are designed to compel human readers to want to move forward with somebody, but that shows up high on Google so that people actually find it first when they're Google searching. So that's what I do. And I got this dream client recently because when I first got started a few years ago, I created a website for myself. I put a lot of time into it back then. This was 2021, of making it really sound like me, communicate what I do as a writer, and my background, 10 years as a hairdresser and a salon operations manager. So that's like the heart of what I do is SEO content for beauty and professional hair care brands and businesses. And so this client a few days ago emails me, had found my website by doing a Google search for freelance beauty copywriter, and he represents one of the biggest professional suppliers for beauty people, salon professionals in the UK. And he needed SEO blogs for his client so that the website ranks better. And just like it worked out so perfectly.
Full circle.
Exactly.
It's so great. It's so great. And the fact that this is what you do for clients and you're doing it, it's working for yourself. I just love that. But so can you tell us how you made the transition from salon operator and being in that world to now writing about that world and for folks in that world?
Yeah, absolutely. Back when I first started, way back in beauty school, even one of the things that they teach us first and foremost is not to try to sell people just to get a sale. If you're trying to convince them to trim their hair, buy a specific product, it should be something that's going to benefit them and improve their lives. And that just really resonated with me. So I'd always had that in the back of my mind working in the salon. After I'd been doing it for about 10 years, it was really starting to take a toll on my body. And at the same time, the pandemic hit. So the salon industry nationwide was just kind of shut down. And I thought, I'm getting all these signals that it might be time to move into something else. At that same time, my dad, Curtis, who you interviewed here, I think just a few weeks ago
Just
now.
a few weeks ago, Curtis
Yeah.
Dennis.
Exactly. So he'd been telling me this copywriting thing is real. You should get into it. You're furloughed from salon work. Just take a course and see where it takes you. And so I started with the AWAI method shortly after everything was shut down back in 2020 and never really looked back, honestly.
That's fantastic. Now, do you and your father compare notes? Do you help each other? Do you review each other's copy?
In terms of reviewing each other's copy, that's one that we haven't quite gotten up to yet. He is always willing to look over my stuff, which I so appreciate. But with him being so in the commercial construction industry,
True.
he'll
Yeah.
tell me what he's doing and I'll read over it. I think it's amazing, but I'm also a little bit like, whoo, I don't know.
Yeah.
But we do compare notes and support each other quite a bit. We try to meet up in person every few weeks or so because we only live a couple hours from each other.
Talk
And
shop.
Exactly. We talk shop. We'll do bar trivia sometimes. No matter what we get into, it's nice to just kind of talk about words and things like that.
Yeah.
We're actually looking at potentially starting a podcast by writers for writers in the coming weeks. So we'll
I
see.
love it.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, let us know when that takes off. We'll share the word. That's great.
Yeah.
So you talked. So are you still focusing primarily on SEO? Do you do any other type of writing, any other type of projects? Once you get clients and you see what they need, are you involved in any of projects outside of the SEO work?
Yeah, absolutely. I've got a couple little things going. So, the SEO work I do is primarily for agencies. So they are the ones who are going out, getting a lot of the clients, and then they come to me and say, "We're doing, the ads or the graphic design. We need you to write the copy for it." And that is extended into now I'm writing social media for quite a few clients.
Mhm.
Also getting into a bit of video scripting, which is really fun for me. That's a
Oh,
whole new avenue, but copywriting applies to it. So it all works for me. I love it.
that's fantastic. And is this all through an agency, or are you working with these clients directly yourself?
For the most part, agencies. The new beauty client that I got recently is just me direct to them, which is a lot of fun. But
Yeah.
otherwise, yes, I love doing agency work because they see the whole picture. The thing about SEO, not to get like too technical, is that that's only kind of one facet of it. There's a few
Right.
other elements that come into play. And so they handle a lot of that heavy lifting back end kind of stuff. And I
Mhm.
get to write, which I love.
That's awesome. How'd you find your first client?
My first client was another one that came through my lessons from AWAI, which was great. So I finished up the method and I went straight into Elise Bennon's 21-day LinkedIn course.
Good.
And
That's
oh,
what we
so
recommend.
I
Yep.
know it's such a perfect transition to go from, okay, now you've got the nuts and bolts of how to do it. So here's how you get in touch with clients. And
Yeah.
a big lesson in that course is finding people who could be potential clients and really warmly, generously connecting with them. So
Warmly and generously. Let's just take a minute there. Isn't that how you would want any relationship to start? I love that. Warmly and generously.
Yeah, it
Great.
lays such a great foundation. Yeah, exactly. And so I found a few copywriters in the space who they weren't big names in that they are launching their own courses, but they were big names in that when I Googled them, their websites came up really high in the results. So I connected with them on LinkedIn, introduced myself as a new copywriter, and said, I would love to just be in touch, see what I can learn from you if you'd be interested in that. And a lot of people said yes, which was great.
Nice.
After I got those yeses, I started posting articles on LinkedIn that were really like portfolio samples of the type of thing I wanted to be writing. And after a few weeks, one of them reached out to me and said, "Hey, I've got a client who needs blogs. It's a very high end, very niche hair salon, way out of my league. They need a professional, and I'd love to send them your way." That
That again, Shelby, I'm sorry. I just want to stop you for a minute though, because let's put a little spotlight on you were writing the kind of you were making the kind of posts for the type of writing you wanted to do. Again, that is such a good blueprint for what exactly happened to you, attracting the right, having the right people come to you.
Exactly. It works really well because you don't have to get into all of kind of the feelings and all of the other sort of challenges that can come from straight cold pitching before you really even know what a brand or a client is about. So
Right, right.
yeah, just really, really great. And so after a few weeks of that and getting comments from some of these writers on the work I was doing, that one reached out to me and said, "I've got this niche hair salon that needs blogs and it's way out of my league. So would you like to give it a shot?" That turned into a 6-month blogging contract, and that ended up being my
Awesome.
first client.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. So is LinkedIn your, well, besides your website and the how it can attract people, is LinkedIn your method of choice for connecting with potential clients?
It is. I like it a lot because I find it, once you kind of get over the initial awkwardness of, what do I say? Which everyone goes through a little bit. It's normal when you're putting yourself out there for the first time. But once you have a little bit more comfort with it, it's just such a great way to naturally connect and communicate with people. I've
Yeah,
met not just clients, but editors, graphic designers, all kinds of people who were now networked together and say, well, if I have somebody who needs one thing, I'll send them your way
yeah.
for the other thing. Yeah.
That is really the heart and soul and strength of LinkedIn, and working your contacts and working how you show up there warmly and generously, and being available. That's so great. Let's see, what else do I want to ask you? I guess, what advice do you have for your fellow writers?
Yeah, my biggest piece of advice, and I want to qualify this by saying it comes from someone with ADHD, me, so I recognize how big
Okay.
of a challenge it can be, but is to really pick a direction and really commit to it for at least a little while. The
Hmm.
way that I picture this in my mind is like if you take 100 steps in one direction, or you take one step in 100 directions,
Oh, that's
which one's
what
going
a
to get
great
you
visual. Yeah.
and so every time you think, "Oh my gosh, I'm not done with this course yet, but I wanna take this next one," or, "Oh my gosh, I wanna start offering this one kind of project, but I'm interested in this other one too," see it as a staircase you can climb, you know? You can focus on one place. Once you've got a few clients under your belt there, then you can go on to the next thing. Nothing is ever permanent.
That's so true, and takes the pressure off. And again, it's thinking of it in these shorter journeys, or these shorter little treks that see where it takes you. That is great advice. What resources do you rely on the most right now?
Oh, that's a really good question. Something I've really been enjoying, and it might be a little bit out there, but MailerLite, which is a program that does like email marketing, has
Uh-huh.
been one of the biggest things for me, not just for myself, because I have a newsletter of like tips and stuff for writers and things,
Yeah.
but for my clients too. Because what we're finding more and more is that if you are in like a Facebook group or like all of your clients' real community lives somewhere with an algorithm, that can change at any day. They can decide to show groups differently, all of these things. And so building an email list is one of the most like secure things that you
Yes.
can do for yourself as a writer, but that you can offer your clients too. And
Yes.
so being familiar with just like the most basic apps like that, MailChimp would be another good one. And
Hmm.
it's interesting or funky because it's not like, a tool that you're going to use to educate yourself every day, but having it in your back pocket makes you so much more able to take on other projects and see
I
kind of
love that.
the big picture as a writer, not just the one piece, but all of the part of the
Yeah.
customer journey. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. We're big proponents of Substack for that as well, because you can publish, you can create a list, it's all yours, all that stuff. Yeah, that's great, and it just shows um, a thinking about this beyond the one-off projects. It really, I love your approach of like, yeah, I'm creating something here, something that is going to have different facets and could lead down different paths. So I love that.
Mhm.
So what do you do for fun?
Oh gosh, for fun, that is a great question. Some people think this is a little funky, but I have always really enjoyed both reading and playing video games. And
I
being
think you're like not rare. I think there's a lot of people that fall into those groups.
Right. I feel like as a writer, at your core, if you really love writing, you're a storyteller in one way or another. You love the before and after transformation. And at the end of the day, that's kind of what you're living when you read a book or you play a game is some character's journey or transformation. And it's funny the little things you get ideas for as you play through and read through some of these things too, as an added bonus.
That's fantastic. What are you most excited about right now, either in your career or just in your life?
Yeah, I've got a couple things. Honestly, the podcast with my dad, I am so
Oh,
excited.
that's going to be awesome. That's going to be
We've
awesome.
Yeah, we've wanted to collaborate together for so long, and we come from, in one way we have a similar path because we both were in a trade for a long time before getting into writing. But on the other hand, it's completely different. So I'd love to just like really put that under the microscope. That's going to be a lot of fun. And then personally, just in the last few days, my husband and I pulled the trigger on booking an Alaskan cruise next summer for my
Oh,
30th
that's on
birthday.
my bucket list. Oh, so you're going to go next summer?
Exactly, yeah. And
Oh,
it's so nice to be able to book something and know, like, okay, I'm gonna have to put in time off for this. It's not during my blackout dates or any of the things you might get with a job in a typical
yes.
situation.
Yes, yes. Oh, and it's so fun to have something like that to look forward to. And I mean, that's as much as, for me at least, that's as much of the fun of these things as the actual trip. And but yeah, right. And you can go on your terms, and you don't have to, it's taken care of. Oh, all that stuff. That's fantastic. Well, I hope I talked to you before then, but definitely would love to see some photos and hear about that experience. But I'm sure we'll be hearing more from you before then with the way your career's going. And I really appreciate you just being so open to sharing and to paying it forward, which is what we love to do here at AWAI. So thank you for your time today, and just wish you all the best.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. This was an absolute blast, and I agree. I hope we talk sooner. We'll figure out.
Yes, let's make a plan. Let's commit to that.
Beautiful.
Done. Okay. Right. Bye, Shelby.
Bye. Thank you so much.